What was your I am surrounded by idiots moment? 1. Not me, but my daughter, who was 17 at the time, was working at a McDonald's in a bad neighborhood. They had to constantly check the bathrooms for needles and passed out junkies. She actually found a nice Bowie knife in it one day and the manager let her keep it. So one day she steps outside for a break and finds a man lying on the sidewalk, bleeding from a stab wound, not from a Bowie knife. So she does what they were taught to do and calls for a manager, grabs some gloves and a towel and comes back outside. The manager, 30-something male, is standing outside, wringing his hands, along with several older staff members, and none of them will take the gloves. The manager is trained in first aid as part of his job, but he won't calm down. So my daughter tells one of them to go back inside and call 911. And she puts on the gloves, takes the towels and applies pressure to the wound. She talks to the guy while they wait for the ambulance and keeps him calm, while her manager is trying not to pass out from hyperventilating. When the ambulance arrives, the paramedics assess the man, and while one is getting the guy's wound stabilized, the other one starts asking questions. When he finds out my daughter is only 17, he lost his crap on the manager and then commended my daughter for doing such a good job. He told her that she should be a paramedic because she was so cool under pressure. She laughed and told him she hates the sight of blood, but didn't want the guy to die. She then went on break and had a little cry, then returned to work. 2. I parked in a hospital parking lot, and when I came back to my vehicle, there was this young couple, early 20s, having a heated discussion. She wanted him to call a taxi and drive to a mall and buy a battery. He wanted to call a locksmith. The battery in their key fob was dead, and they couldn't get the door open. They were getting quite mad at each other, thinking that the other solution was going to cost more and take longer. I asked them if I could be of assistance, and they both wanted me to explain to the other why their idea sucked. The guy suggested that maybe I could take the battery out of my fob and put it in theirs just long enough for them to open the doors. I asked to see their key fob, and he handed it to me, thinking I was going to do his suggestion. I walked to their car, put the key in the lock, and opened the door. They both were stunned, saying, "OMG, how did you do that?" They had never seen a car door open with a key. I felt really old, and just a little smug. 3. I took my 11-year-old daughter to a hockey game. She brought her clear branded souvenir bag she had received the previous game we attended. When we got up to the line, a security guard approached us and informed us that any bags had to go through a different line. The completely clear bag was clearly empty. I made sure the guy was aware the bag was empty and completely see-through. He still directed me to another line for bags. We went to the other line and waited. When we got to the front, the security personnel informed us her bag was too big and we needed to go to another line to be x-rayed. Again, in complete disbelief, tried to reason that the bag was clear and completely empty by holding it up to my face and speaking with the person. Still, we had to go to the x-ray line. At this point I was not happy and thought I may be losing my mind. We get to the x-ray line and finally the x-ray guy looked at me like I was an alien when I told him what his coworkers had told me. I spoke with management and was told they would make sure their staff knew that clear and empty bags didn't need to be x-rayed.